Then it's branding. Branding is important in the design system as well. So we keep the same style. As you interact with this brand, it's something arises within you about how this brand is, how professional this brand is, how important this brand is. Hey, it's Alan here. Now, I want to tell you a really quick story. Design systems. I want to tell you a really quick story. I met a guy, really great guy, doing some work with him, and he brought me through design systems. And as he brought me through design systems, I looked at it and said, yeah, branding. I know branding. I understand branding. I've been dealing with branding for years. I understand it. But have you ever been in the situation where you think you know something? Like you're sitting there, you're watching this video on a device right now. And as you're watching, you may remember a time when you thought you knew something. You were in a class or maybe a church or maybe somewhere where you're learning something now. And at first you looked at it and you thought you knew it. And as you watched and got deeper and deeper into the subject, you realized you knew nothing, actually nothing about it. And it's a lot deeper than you thought. Initially you thought on a surface level, and you were an expert in the surface level, but as you got deeper and deeper and deeper, you realized, no, I don't know that at all. And it's much deeper than I thought it was. And as this guy was teaching me, great guy, this guy was bringing me through the design system, I realized this isn't branding. This isn't. Design system isn't branding, because I always hear about the iPhones, and I love my iPhone, and I hear about they built the iPhones through a design system. So that's a physical product. Now this guy was teaching me about design systems as far as websites and as far as emails and keeping the design system within a range. But I always hear about the iPhones being built as a physical product, being built as a design system. They use a design system for each iPhone, or for, you know, a number of different products. They're all built on the same design system. I never really understood. I thought I understood it because I understood at surface level, but I never really understood what they were talking about, because I was always into marketing systems. So you have your marketing system. You do your client avatar. You know who your client is. You get to know them like you would know your best friend. You build your message and find out what's great about them. And then you do your tactics. And I was very interested in this marketing systems and building the marketing systems. Building an incredible marketing system. So once you build a system, anybody can follow it. Like the best system obviously is the McDonald's system, where they can get a 12-year-old kid to come in and work their systems in a perfect way. But as I looked at this design system, I started realizing, no, this isn't branding. This isn't branding. This is completely different. Not completely different. There's elements of branding in it, but branding doesn't encompass what the design system is. So as I looked at it, I realized, yes, usability. That anybody, you may have noticed, my eyes are not what they once were. I had to start wearing glasses last year, and my eyes have deteriorated. So, and I've been working on computers, high resolution monitors for 30 years? I don't know how long. And that's probably what affected my eyes a little bit. But so my use of computers right now is still exactly the same as it's always been. But I imagine in 5 or 10 years, I may have to have a lower resolution, or, you know, look at the computer in a different way. And then if someone maybe had a stroke or is in a wheelchair, they need to look at it in a different way. They need to use the computer in a different way, completely interact with it in a different way. Or, you know, just hearing issue or whatever it is, you have to interact with the computer in a different way. So usability. And also usability is just for anyone with who can use a computer in a normal way, but just needs to have a really incredible experience of using the computer. That's important too. So usability is part of the design system. Then it's branding. Branding is important in the design system as well. So we keep the same style. As you interact with this brand, it's something arises within you about how this brand is, how professional this brand is, how important this brand is. And that is an internal, subjective, emotional state that you have for a brand. Like the way I feel about Apple isn't logical. It's logical. It's an emotional state. So if you're running a brand, there should be an emotional state that customers have. And obviously it's subjective. It's going to be different for every customer. But there should be a general emotional state that customers have for your company. So that's part of it as well, part of the branding. And the most important element is reusable objects. Reusable objects. So we work out the contrast in text style by background and the buttons by text and all those contrasts that are really, really important. And we build in the usability in it. We build in the branding into it. We build in the great user experience into it as well. And then it works. So the whole design system needs to work as well, really well, through the different experience of websites, mobile, tablet, and whatever way the person's interacting, including if they have to interact through voice or if they have to interact through maybe touch or maybe a joystick or whatever way they're interacting with it. So it's all built into the design system. But the important thing is reusable elements. So you have the reusable elements that you've tested, you know are working. Good contrast and look really professional, and it's your brand as well. People, as soon as people see it, they feel something. They feel something a second they see your brand, and they know it's you. They know it's you, and all of those feelings and all of those impressions that have built up through the years. The obvious one is the McDonald's do, which as soon as you hear that, it makes you feel hungry. And so all of those elements you need to build up within your design system, but they're reusable elements. So you can work with any designer who could take these reusable elements and build your perfect brand system every single time. As I'm looking at this, I'm realizing this is much more than branding. This is how everything should be built. And I always believe that marketing should be along a system, should be systematized, so you get the same great results every time. No matter who you're working with. And as I'm watching this design system, I'm realizing, yes, all design needs to be done in a design system. This is the only way to do it, because you get the same great results every single time. It's so important. So systems. And the one thing I'll say about education is not built on an education system. There is an education system, but it's just setting a curriculum of random stuff, igneous rock and volcanoes and quadratic equations. But education should be built on reusable education objects. And it should be useful as well. It should be useful. So these design systems should be in education. PHP, Swift for Apple, and everything else should be in our education systems. But I won't get into education system right now. But this design system is so important. As I'm watching this presentation and looking at some videos later on about design systems and allowing this information to come inside me. Because there's one thing understanding logically information, but there's one place where you get a much deeper understanding where it's in your bones. You can feel it. It's in your bones. And as I'm allowing this this design system to become part of me, I'm realizing, yes, this is the way design should always be done. I will never, ever work with a designer or do design that doesn't understand this design system, doesn't understand design systems. Well, the initial, obviously, once you build a design system, you can work with anyone, but the initial, it's got to be a design system right from the start. That's the only way to do it. I'm starting to realize that. It's been Alan here. Just want to talk about design systems and how important a design system is.